So we're working through the parables, and we're not working through them in any particular order, just the order that God says, hey, Leslie, do this one. And I love it when the talk aligns with the daily word. It was coincidental today, but it fit. But this is one we're so familiar with, the parable of the lost sheep. So the Pharisees and Sadducees are asking Jesus, why are you spending time with all these sinners? And Jesus' answer to them, if there was a shepherd out in the field and there was one sheep that was lost, wouldn't you want that one sheep to be found? In a nutshell, that's it. Pretty simple. So who are the lost sheep in our society today? And this isn't rhetorical. I'm wanting a response. Say that again? Everyone. Well, you summed it all up in one word. Expanding on everyone, they can be. Anybody? Family. They can be particularly marginalized communities, so minorities, LGBTQ community, the opposite of whatever polar spectrum we happen to sit in, because I think everybody at some point in time might feel like they are a lost sheep. And I think it's interesting that, good Lord, I should have made that font bigger. The tax collectors in this story were seen as traitors to their own people. The sinners, they were seen as just not following the purity laws, that people looked down upon professions including prostitutes, tanners, and shepherds. So I find it ironic a little bit that we see Jesus as a shepherd. That in many, many pictures that we see, Jesus is the shepherd, herding the sheep, holding the sheep, bringing the sheep. And the sheep symbolized, metaphorically and truthfully, prosperity. It was the way that you brought income in. It's the way you made money off of their meat, off of their fur. But because they were with the animals, with all the parts of the animals, so the manure, the raising of and bringing new animals in, to the religious elite, they were dirty. And those shepherds, they faced a lot of danger. Bears, lions, thieves, and yet they stood over their field and they kept the sheep together for protection. And I think that really sits well with us. There's been a lot of dialogue, a lot of playful use of the word, and that's using it kindly, of, oh, they're sheep, don't follow them. Oh, they're being sheep. But the reality is we are all sheep and we all need community. We all need each other. They stay together for protection, and there's this great interdependence among sheep, among people. And this speaks to that need that whenever we feel lost, we need that support, we need that community. And I'm going to tell you a little story about a critter. Wasn't a sheep. Was a dog, still is a dog. So my sister was asked to dog sit this dog that was on the kill list. He's not adoptable. He bites at everybody who picks him up. But keep him through the weekend. Let him have his last hurrah. Boomer took to Sarah like there was no fear. He was able to pick up on that love from her, that she just scooped him up and she can love on him. I still cannot just randomly scoop him up. I will still get the snarl, but Sarah can. And there was a time when Boomer went missing. Sarah was on vacation, and Boomer went missing. We don't know where he went. And we did flyers, everything. And so Sarah hadn't quite made it, but she was probably at work that day, and then Dad went up to the corner store, and they said, hey, we think we found that dog that you're looking for. So Mom and Dad live out in Rosanke, a little bitty rural area near Bastrop. They're like, the house that he's at is in Smithville. They said, well, he was running around the store, so they picked him up. And so when Dad went to go pick up Boomer, Dad was easily able to scoop him up, just like Sarah did, and he just fell in. He had claw marks. I'm pretty sure he was picked up by a hawk or an owl and carried to wherever, then dropped. But my point here is, we all have those moments where we feel so lost, scared, hurt, that our guard is up. But even with that person that comes to us that has that divine presence, that unconditional love, that support is something that we can gravitate to, that we do gravitate to. I'm going to tell another little story that I wasn't planning on telling until I knew Nan was coming. So I was that lost sheep back in 1999, 2000, somewhere around there. That was where I got kicked out of the church that I was in, told you have to change your ways or leave. Just down the corner, Nan was the minister of that church there at the time. I was welcomed, encouraged, loved on, fostered, made a great friend. We had some wonderful shenanigans. And it is that bit, that one yes, that one love that carries you to your momentous moments. Did I know it 20 years ago that I would be standing here in a Unity church? No. But I'm exactly where I need to be because that love that I received then let me know that I can. Nan, thank you. But it's not really just about lost sheep. I'm stepping closer to this thing. I can't see that far. My eyes are all blurry because I got teary-eyed. If you were the sheep set apart from the flock, how would you feel when you saw the shepherd in the distance coming for you? Not rhetorical. How would you feel? And not only was this shepherd coming to you not to scold you, not to say, oh my gosh, why couldn't you keep up with everybody else? No, to be scooped up, carried on the shoulders of, and to bring you home. When I was being ordained this weekend, over and over again, you are carried on the shoulders of many. We are carried on the shoulders of many ministers before us, in our denomination, out of our denomination, by friends, by family, by loved ones who kept cheering us on. This community did that for me, y'all. I got tired. And y'all kept me going. You held that light for me. And we do that too for each other as well. And it's not really just about the lost one. I am the sheep. I am the shepherd. I am the flock. You are the sheep. You are the shepherd too. And you are the flock. How do we feel when our other flock members are hurting? There's sometimes that there's things that we think we need to do, and I'm guilty of it. I've done it. We think we need to fix them. Done it. We think we need to provide smotherly love. Not motherly love, smotherly love. You know, the kind that when you're going through it and that person is like stuck to you like glue, and then you go to your quiet time and you kind of have to peel it off a little bit because it could be a little too much, that's motherly love. And then, what if someone was away and comes back and we get a feeling we didn't think we would have? You think, I'm happy, I'm great, and I'm uncomfortable. I know to say welcome back. I know to say I love you, but there's this part of us, because we like to process information, that wants to know, where have you been? What have you been going through? And all the questions, and part of you saying, I'm really curious, and the other part is saying, keep your mouth shut and just welcome them home. Guilty of it. Done it. And sometimes we assume that people are lost. We assume that because somebody left the flock for a while that they're lost. That little sheep may very well have saw the most beautiful field of flowers and wanted to just stay there a little while longer. Maybe that little sheep was a little overstimulated by the other sheep and just needed some time alone. Maybe that sheep felt a little chastised by a clique. Don't tell me churches don't have cliques, they do. And when you see the other ministers in the audience go, you know you're on spot. And then there's people who leave to take care of their own agency. If you've been part of a group that's been toxic for a while, and it could be a secular group, but in many, many times it has been a church family that you feel, what happened here? And you feel shunned. And it's not just LGBTQ people. If you're a person of color, if you're a person who has been divorced, if you're a person who drops the F-bomb every now and then. It's my favorite one. If I'm going to drop one, it's going to be that one. But we have those moments where we've all been there. And so when we return, there's some things that we can do on the receiving end of the person who's coming back. And I chose these young, playful, cartoony because this enables us to sit in the love aspect of it. We welcome. We love. Even if you don't agree with the person for whatever reason. We respect boundaries. Sometimes people are coming back and they have just enough energy to come back and be and go. Don't chase them and drag them down to the gathering room. If they need to go, let them go. Because there's something to be said about respecting the healthy boundaries that show this immense amount of love. It allows people to grow in their own time. It allows people to be able to build down their walls brick by brick by brick. Because I can imagine that if you built down a wall that you've built and you let it crumble all at one time, I would imagine that it would feel a little overwhelming. At least I would think. And be in communion, in conversation. Not in the nosy way. We don't need to know why they left. We don't need to know all the business. And so we receive that grace, the grace for ourselves and the grace for the person. And I'm not necessarily talking about coming back to church as an entity, as an institution. I'm talking about celebrating when somebody is coming back to the fact, no matter where they are, because sometimes people can feel the love and not have to step place in here. The safest place for them to feel it is outside these walls. And that's why we do service. That's why you would do small groups, because there is some trauma that is so heavy that you don't want to go back into it. So expand the fields, broaden the fence line, open the gate. This is a vast love that we don't need a gate. This is where we are authentically ourselves. This is where even in your world of outside of church, that you could be that beacon of light to whoever it is. And then the last thing is to be you. Y-O-U, and the fuzzy, cute little you. Because if we show up with false pretense, it's not authentic. It's important for us, if we're going to extend extravagant love, that we extend it without any limitations, and limitations include a fake extension of love just because you're trying to be Southern and make nice. They'll know if it's fake. And I want to go back to that repenting part. Because clearly, if he's talking about sin in the context of sin and uncleanliness, there would be a whole bunch of sheep without shepherds if you only had to be where you were considered to be clean. And so you would think, you would have that, oh, I need to be clean, so I can't have this profession anymore, or I can't do this anymore. And it really is a matter of, you can be religious from sun up to sundown. You can do the rituals, you could say the prayers, you can say the thoughts and prayers. And you can follow every single religious law that there is. But if there's separation between you and the divine, between you and God, that's the error thought. Doesn't have diddly squat to do with the other people. But it's those parts when, in order for you to be able to have your connection with God, you have to know the truth that God is everywhere present. In the people you love, in the people you don't care for, in the people that make decisions that you have no idea why they made that decision. Because somewhere in everyone is a beacon of light and love. And until we choose to hold the light for them, even if we're not even in the same presence with that person, I truly believe that our light and our energy expands beyond our human being, these body temples, that we are able to think of the person who's making decisions that might not be of love and light and send them love and light. Because I really feel like if there is enough of us who sees the worth of everyone, then this resonation of us getting better in the spiral dynamics of life, that if we meet their survival needs by saying, I see you, if we supply the needs that nobody's having to be in survival mode of how they're going to make it through the next day, whether or not a bomb is heading towards their home, whether or not we are being judged by decisions that we make, if we take the time to really see the God in us and the God in everybody else, then we have the ability to change the world. We have the ability to be that child by being centered in the presence of God. It is like being a child's favorite stuffy and being scooped up and being held. That you are the joy of being held. And that you, in this joy, are home. When we have the ability to love on each other, we have the ability to bring each other home. It's about returning home. It's about centering into the presence of God. And so I want to close us with this affirmation. So I'll say it once, y'all repeat after me. We get more excited the more we say it. Joy is mine, is being found and in finding the God in all. Joy is mine, is being found and in finding the God in all. Joy is mine in being found and finding the God in all. Thank you. Shine on, y'all.